be. So we thank you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So Stephanie, first of all, I know you, but for those who don't, for our listeners out there, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I'm a journalist. Obviously, when I was a teenager, I was originally born in Brooklyn, but when I was a teenager, my mom decided to move to Philadelphia, and I went to Girls High, graduated from there. Then I went to Temple University. Right out of Temple, I started working at the Philadelphia Tribune. That's where me and you met, and I was doing stories there. I was covering the religion piece. But while you're young and you want to go and try different things. That's where my mind was at. I was covering religion. I was happy about that, but I wanted to explore beyond my beat. I was able to interview Al Sharpton, Reverend Al Sharpton, Jeremiah Wright when he came. I was excited about that. And after 4 years, I left the Tribune because I just wanted to spread my wings a little bit more. And during that time, I was just kind of perfecting my novel right now that I have called Control. Pretty much me in a nutshell. Well, my professional career.
Well, Stephanie, when I think you posted on Facebook when you first got the hard copy of your book Control, and
I was so excited.
Yes.
You posted it, and when I saw it, because we have talked about your book when you were actually writing about it, and so I guess I was probably, if this is possible, anticipating it as much as you were, if that's possible. But when you posted that you received a copy of your book, I was so elated. Tell me about your book.
It's called Control. It's about Black Lives Matter, Me Too, politics and identity through the lens of teenagers. It's about how the younger generation is starting to rise up. It's no longer the Al Sharptons or the DeRay. It's young kids out there on the ground trying to make a little bit of a difference. And this book focuses on a girl called Teresa Marie Jenkins. Her father is a white politician and her mother is black. And so she's sort of in the middle. And the book starts off at a protest. She burns a Confederate flag. And she becomes an activist, but her real passion is to become a big superstar, a big singing music superstar. And while she's there, she kind of gets caught up in that industry. I want to show that young people can make mistakes, but they can learn from them. Because one of my favorite people in history is Malcolm X. But he didn't begin as Malcolm X. He started out as Malcolm Little. So never really discount our youth. They can always turn their lives around if you give them a chance. I mean, if you can see that they're willing, that there's something there, try to encourage that potential. And that's sort of how Control came about. And the title comes from Janet Jackson's song. When I was 17, I did what people told me.
Right.
And she's trying to find that control in her life.
And so,
nice title.
And so, what made you come up with this? Where did the concept of this book? Where did that plot come from?
It was a summer day, around 10, 15 years ago, and I was just sort of bored. So I went to the dollar store and I picked up a notebook, and I just felt like writing. And I was like, what do I write about? And then I was like, you know what? I'll make her a biracial singer because Mariah Carey is my favorite singer. I know that's not a deep answer, but that was my jumping off point. So she's going to be biracial, so she's going to be a singer. And then how do I fill in the gap? I gave her a little bit of my history, some of the trauma that I've went through, and just kind of take it from there. I also included some of the stuff about R. Kelly, how young girls are often manipulated by older men. And why does society always blame the younger girls? Why do we automatically say, well, you shouldn't have been wearing that. What were you doing alone with that man? As opposed to saying, the man should have saw that she was a child and walked away. And that's how a lot of it kind of shaped the narrative of the book. I have a character called Dina Carter, and she's based on Whitney Houston and Diana Ross. She has the voice of Whitney and the attitude of Diana. Kind of a mash.
Wow. And so when you first wrote the book, started writing the book, were you at all intimidated? Because you're a professional writer. You've been doing journalism for quite some time, so writing is not new to you. But when you crossed over to authorship, when you approached that idea, was it at all intimidating at first?
It was very intimidating. I was kind of hard-headed back then. This book is perfect. You can't tell me anything, but it actually sucked. And if the thing is that you have to take some constructive criticism, because I didn't want to take it at first. So the book was 1,000 pages long. I'm thinking, oh my God, this is so awesome. And it's literally as thick as the Bible.
Mm.
I was going on and on. I know that Karen, Miss Miller, she's a very respected author. She's based in Philly. She was like, Stephanie, you have to get to the point. You want people to keep you interested. So I just had to take that criticism and just, realize that the stuff that I was working on, it really wasn't good. And I think that's the biggest problem when you're like an author.
Mm-hmm.
You really don't have an initial editor. Like, when you're working in the office, working on an article, you have an editor who tells you you have to cut this down for clarity.
Yes.
But when you're writing a novel, you're just going on and on and on.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my problem. I had to find an editor, and I had to really have concise characters. Like, what is it that I'm trying to say
Mm-hmm.
in a certain amount of time, a certain structure.
Yeah, because it kind of hurts. First of all, it's frightening.
Larry Miller, I would be remiss if I didn't say Larry Miller, respected journalist at the Philadelphia Tribune.
Yes.
I don't like your main character.
Mm-hmm.
He told me that straight up. I don't like, Larry.
Yes.
He is.
Mm-hmm.
But he said it in lunch, I don't like your main character.
Yeah, Larry Miller is a good guy. Do you know he's one of those people? He always sometimes in our business we don't get a lot of feedback for our work, But he's one of the people that say, "Look, I really respect what you do. I really like your stuff. I read your stuff, etc." He's one of those people that reach out, let you know, give you that supportive statement that keep you going. But what would you say to writers when it comes to exposing their cherished product, their cherished work, to the eyes of editors who may then take their baby and start pulling the limbs apart? What would your advice be to them?
I would say that to let just take off the Band-Aid really quickly, because it's going to hurt, but only somebody who cares about you is going to tell you the truth. It's sort of like a parent and a child. Let's say that you have a child, right? And the child's like, you know what? I want to play with fire. Can I do that, Mommy? Like, are you really going to let your child play with fire? It's like, no. If you do that, you'll get hurt. Anybody who truly loves you will give you the truth in love, will criticize you in love. Like, I like what you're doing right here with these characters, but maybe you can tweak it a little bit. And I also feel like you have to have a backbone at a certain point, because I know that one of my good friends, Jonathan Cooper, I have to shout him out.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, I really, really love the story, but it started out too slow, and I didn't like the end. And I was like, you know what? Okay, I can accept that. And it's all about finding the fine line between accepting criticism and just being kind of firm in what you wrote.
Right.
And I'm finding that I feel like a lot of people want yes people around them. And if you have yes people constantly, you're never going to grow. Not as a person, and definitely not as a
It's never going to happen. I always tell my friends, I said, if I ever find out that I was headed down the wrong path, or I was engaging in something crazy that you knew, something you knew was destructive or counterproductive to me, and didn't tell me, we're done. We're done, because I don't need friends who are just, well, I didn't want to hurt your feelings. I need friends who say, look, I care so much about your well-being that I'll risk that. So I understand. So were there any time in the writing of your book that you felt discouraged enough to where you said, look, I'm going to quit?
Oh, yes. Initially in the past 2 years, because I had written a book. It was originally titled By Any Means Necessary.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that it was it. And then when I got the book in my hand, it was sort of like that euphoria kind of disappeared. And I felt kind of disappointed in myself. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do this anymore. I quit. I'm not going to do it. So I didn't write my novel an entire year. I just left it alone.
Wow.
And then you know how you go through those writer's droughts? So I was really down on myself. I didn't want to do it anymore. I thought, you know what? Just leave Risa in the past, because, that's where she belongs. And then one day, just as before, I just picked up the pen again. I said, you know what? I know that I wrote this entire book, but I'm going to start all the way over from scratch. I started from scratch last year that, you know what? I have a basic framework in mind, but I'm just going to start everything all over again. New title, new plot line, just make it sense. And that's what I had to do for a full year, and then I finally got to the point. I remember that I finished on April 23rd, and I was so happy. And the very next day, I got a call from my brother. He gave me a call at 10:27. And my brother never randomly calls in the middle of the day. In the morning, he was like, our dad died. And it was like, wow. Like, I got to the point that I finished my novel, and then my dad died literally the next day.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
I stopped writing again for a month.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got back into it a month later. So it's been a lot of stops finish starts and stops, but I felt like, you know what, keep going. You're gonna have those moments where you like want to stop, you want to give up, but just set the book down and just come back to it when you're ready. The worst thing that you can do, well, for me, is to force yourself to write something where your heart isn't in it.
Right. It's almost synonymous with, you ever see someone who you have a night that you can't sleep? The worst thing you can do is to try to force yourself to sleep, because the more you try to force yourself to sleep, the more awake you become.
Yeah.
You know, and it's almost like trying to write. You know, the more you try to force creativity, the further, the less and less creative you become. So I kind of understand it. What's next for you? What's on the horizon?
I'm trying to expose the book to a larger audience. I know that it's going to take a while for me to become a best-selling author. I'm willing to put the work in. I'm just looking for the right opportunity. Definitely tomorrow I'm trying to beat Mariah Carey. She's in New York this week promoting her new album, Caution. And I really want to give her a signed copy of Control. I know that it may be sweet to some people, but truly she is the genesis of the Teresa Marie Jenkins character, because I knew that I wanted to put part of myself in the character, but I didn't know where to begin the journey. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to make her a biracial singer. I'm going to include some of Mariah's background into this character. And it would mean so much to me if I could just simply put the book in her hands to say, that, you know, thank you for all the music that you've given me over the years. This is something that I want to return to you. And just hopefully beyond that point, just to keep exposing Control to a larger audience. Hopefully that people will get find a love for this character and this story. They can see beyond that it's just about teenagers, but a larger story, because we all know teenagers and we all know how hard-headed they are.
Oh yeah, I used to be one. I used to be one of those hard-headed teenagers.
I know.
How much of your story in Control? How much of it is biographical?
A lot of it I can't say the word, but a lot of it is based on my personal history. I know that for Lisa, her character, there's a character named Lisa and her character named her best friend is Stephanie, and they both suffer through sexual abuse. I know that that's my personal background. There used to be a time where I couldn't even say the words out loud, and now I'm saying it on a radio station. And I wanted to show that you can hold something inside of you for so long, and then you can make it your own prison, become your own warden, and you have to like break free after a certain point. And that's what I use with the girls, the teenagers, because a lot of young girls, teenage women, young women, are suffering through sexual abuse, and they're being told, especially with the holidays coming up, oh, I want you to hug so-and-so, hug that person, and you don't realize how uncomfortable that child is, and that child used to be me. I remember this one time someone was like, are you a mute? Do you speak? Because I was just so quiet, I was just so shy, I never said anything, but I found, like in the past years together, I found my voice, and I really wanted to give these young women a voice.
And so if people wanted a copy of Control, where can they get it?
They can please go to Amazon, look up my name, Control, Stephanie Gerlis, and it's on the website listing. It's $2.99 Kindle and $11 paperback.
Okay, great. And I actually I can't wait to get my copy. I was actually looking it up today. And
thank you, because I really do want like positive. I do want positive feedback, but I want people to like tell me what they like and what they don't like, because I'm working on the sequel right now. And whatever people don't like, I can always try to like make the sequel a little bit stronger. But you always suffer with your first movie.
Oh yeah.
You guys always on the good part. You know.
What is your writing process like?
My writing process is that I have a whole bunch of pens, a stack of pens, and I prefer to do long form. I know that a lot of people love going on the computer and just typing away, but I like to sit with my characters. I like to think about what I'm going to write. I like to have kind of like an outline of a frame. I feel like when I'm writing the characters, I'm really getting in there. And when I get on the computer and I start typing, it manifests itself into something bigger. So like I'll just go like 100 miles an hour on the computer. But when I'm writing long form, I can just kind of like, scratch things out. Like I really love writing. The actual writing, and I have like a lot of carpal tunnel because of it. But I just find I just feel like we shouldn't throw away all our old school ways. there's a reason why, people love to write. I feel like a lot of things, like, everybody just gets on their cell phone or the computer or a tablet, and I'm not knocking that. I prefer writing.
Right. So you're working on a sequel.
Yes.
Are there any surprises that we can expect in this next novel?
Like my name in the book.
Yes, there is a big surprise. What I want to do with the character of Reese is that I do not want to define her in a sanctioned box. Mm-hmm. And let's just say that she's one way in the original book. She's kind of boy crazy, and she's a different way in the sequel.
Okay. We got a few clues there for our listeners who, once you get the book control, and the sequel will have a few surprises for you. And so, Stephanie, what are you doing now when you're not writing, when you're not with your writing longhand? I find that so unique. That's so artistic. That's very creative. What do you do?
I'm just looking for freelance work, but right now I'm just trying to get in touch with myself, like, spiritually. Yesterday I had like a really bad day, and I had to go to the church. I had to speak to somebody, a black woman. She was a deaconess, so I just had to just speak to somebody. I'm so frustrated because I feel as career-wise I'm not where I want to be. With my book, I'm not where I want to be, and I feel as though God is trying to teach me something. I feel as though a year from now, I probably will be a best-selling author, and I'll be like, I'm so happy, but I just want to show that there's a struggle, and I am struggling to get where I want to be. And I just had to go to church yesterday to talk to somebody. Like, I really want to get spiritually well, mentally well, and I feel like that's very important because people just, have a friend like, oh, I'm so happy, everything is going great. Everything is not going great. I mean, not that I'm depressed or anything. It's just that I'm just kind of disappointed that I'm not where I want to be. In order for me to have a thicker skin and accept that feedback, I need to have a clear mind, and that's where I've been.
Well, you're a creative soul, so we feel things a lot more intensely, and our expectations are different. So it's really hard for a lot of people who are otherwise minded to really understand that. But are there any writers groups that you're a part of, or people who share similar ambitions that you?
I look to Karen Miller as a great inspiration and a mentor, somebody that I look to.
I'm sorry, who's that again?
Journalist Karen Miller.
Oh yes.
Denise Clay, Mark and Denise in the morning. She's very on top of her craft. I love the way that she speaks her mind. So honestly,
Denise holds nothing back.
She's not afraid. They call me system. That's Denise. Just people surrounding myself around strong individuals. Even though we may not always agree, I prefer that it's better to just have people, who are honest.
Right.
Even in disagreement.
People who push you forward, stimulate thought. Well,
my best teachers are the ones that push me the most.
I had a professor. He was really tough. Actually, there was two of them, and one was the professor of the second. And these were the two toughest people in the university by reputation. And he and I, we used to go. He was the only one who he had to change. I had a 98, and I should have got a 99. He didn't give 100s. That was just a principle with his. You can get everything right, you would get a 99. He just did not give 100s because he said even if, whether you found it or not, something was always wrong or it could have been approved. But he said I was the only.
I'm sorry.
No.
Did you ever have a chance to work with Darryl Gale?
I did. Quite.
He's another one that I wanted to mention. Like, he was so hard on me.
He was a tough man.
Yeah, and I'm really spoiled. So people thought that let's treat her like a kid. With Darryl, like the complete opposite. He was like, I'm gonna treat you like everybody else. And he was so hard on me, and I am so grateful that he was, because I thought he hated me at first, and then this one day he stood up for me, don't talk to Stephanie this way. Her article is fine. If there was an issue, I would have told her. I was like, wow.
Yeah, he was like J. Jonah Jameson on Spider-Man.
I know.
Look, one day, I had to go into the newsroom to write a story. It was a weekend, so I think it was a weekend or late evening, something like that. But it had to be done really fast. So I had to go into the newsroom to write it. And everybody else was going home mostly, and he was there. And he got to taking that thing apart and etc. Every time I got him, I had to work with him, which was regular. I come back like frustrated, but I think he was the only one that said, "Look, if you ever want to write, if you don't mind a job with low pay," and he was the only one that offered me something, but I didn't take him up on that. But yeah, he was a tough man. But it's people like that you need in your corner.
Push you into a better space, because I feel as though we can all get to a certain space, but you can't stay there.
Right.
If you stay there, you're just stagnant. You're not growing.
Right. Well, Stephanie, look, it's been a pleasure. You're a good friend of mine, and I really admire your tenacity, sticking with it, and I share in your joy of the book. One more time, tell our listeners where they can get your book, the name of it, and the cost.
The name of the book is Control. It's available on Amazon.com. The Kindle version is $2.99. The paperback version is $11. You can also find more information on my website, StephanieGarilis.com. And I really do hope that people just give me a chance. Even if you sort of like the book, or you absolutely love the book, or you hated the book, just I will accept any criticism and feedback. Well,
Stephanie, again, thank you. I really appreciate you, and
thank you.
And I'm looking forward to it. All right, and have fun out there in New York. Is it storming out there?
Oh, yes, it is.
Okay.
But I'm afraid of the storm tomorrow because I got to eat Mariah.
Okay. All right. Well, you take care.
Thank you. Enjoy.
Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was